What's going on, guys? So is the federal $15 minimum wage a good idea? Well, we're going to dig into a study done by the Congressional Budget Office, and this study analyzed the Raise the Wage Act, which looked at what would happen if we incrementally raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2025. So let's go ahead and dive into that. We'll start with some pros. So the wages of 27.3 million low-wage workers would increase. That's according to the CBO. I mean, that's huge. That's great. The families who get a boost from this could keep up with price inflation, improve their quality of life, and the fact that these families are more than likely going to spend closer to 100% of their income. And our economy is largely consumer driven. Like, I believe it's 72% of our economy is driven by consumer spending. And the spending increases demand, and that creates more jobs. And so that's just great. Second thing, the income of families who earn below 3 times the poverty rate would increase by $21.9 billion. I mean, again, pointing back, that's a lot of money in the hands of people who don't make much, and they're going to spend that money, so it's going to be great for the economy, better for all of us. All right, and then the number of people living in poverty would be reduced by 1.3 million. I mean, that's great. One of the major goals for any government should really be to lift its citizens out of poverty. And I think that many of these people will be less reliant on government safety programs if they're making like a high enough wage. I mean, that's a good conservative argument right there. But that's fantastic because we do want to see poverty eliminated and reduced in any way possible. So let's look at some of the cons, or the con of the study, which was that the median estimate was 1.3 million less jobs would be created and lost over a 5-year period. So that's like 268,000 jobs, if I'm doing my math right there, that could be lost a year because of hikes in the minimum wage. That makes sense. I mean, employers with tighter budgets would be more likely to lay off employees and, freeze new hires to remain solvent. And then, some corporations, international corporations, would probably be more likely to outsource their jobs to countries with low wage standards. But, that's how life is, unfortunately. But one upside, I guess, to trading off low wage jobs in exchange for like higher wages is that there's probably 5% of workers in this country have multiple jobs, so they're stressed the hell out. And I would rather them get by on one job and make a living wage than work multiple jobs to actually get by. I mean, less stress is always a plus. So really the conclusion of the study I best thought was summed up by this quote I found in this article that I'll show after this. Quote, the key fact coming out of the report is that the CBO finds that the benefits to low-wage workers of a $15 minimum wage far exceed the costs. The report finds that a $15 minimum wage would increase the wages of millions of low-wage workers, increase the average incomes of lower middle income families, reduce poverty, shift money from corporate profits to the wages of low-wage workers, and reduce inequality. So overall, raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour over a 4 to 5 year period seems to have its perks. I mean, it's not perfect, and maybe in a future video I'll get into like what I think might be better, maybe regional minimum wages tied to inflation and the cost of living. But for now, we'll leave it at that. It looks like the $15 minimum wage is a net benefit to the majority of people. But yeah, here's the source I used right here. And I guess I'll wrap it up here. All right. Thank you for watching.